and welcome to Get Curious with Kirsten, where we talk about the intersection of curiosity and leadership. Many leaders I work with are overwhelmed with the sheer amount of emails, requests, and information that they're bombarded with every day. And as a result, they fall into the bad habit of reacting to what's coming in rather than identifying their top priorities and taking action on those things. And in our coaching conversations, we talk about what has them stuck in reactive mode and how to help them shift into proactive mode. What I've seen work time and again are two things to help them break out of this cycle, and I'm hoping they'll be helpful to you. One is carving out time to reflect and identify their top priorities on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, that sort of thing. And the second is using a tool to help them prioritize their work. One tool I like to use and I find is helpful with others is the Eisenhower Matrix, which you can use to sort and delineate items that are urgent versus important. It was President Eisenhower who said, "I have two kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent." A few decades later, it was Stephen Covey who repackaged Eisenhower's thoughts into what has become known as the Eisenhower Matrix. And he captured that in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The Eisenhower Matrix can be a useful tool for you if you find yourself running around putting out fires all day long. If you're busy but feel like your work that you're producing doesn't really have the impact, or you have long-term goals but you really don't have time or energy to make progress on them. So here's how you use the Eisenhower Matrix. Look at all of your day-to-day tasks, things you do on a regular basis, and your bigger projects, and figure out where they fall into one of these 4 quadrants. So quadrant 1 is for urgent and important tasks. These are tasks that demand you take action quickly because they have consequences for not taking action or deadlines. Most often, these are either things that are sprung on you from an external source, like an emergency client issue, or things that you've put off until you're faced with a looming deadline. Either way, the thing to do with quadrant 1 tasks is to do them right now. Now, quadrant 2. These are things that are not urgent, but they're important. These important tasks are the activities that help you achieve your long-term goals. So they may not have a deadline or even an end date, so it's really easy to put them off in favor of more urgent tasks. You may have found that you do this. However, these tasks have a much greater effect on your long-term effectiveness. They're things like strategic planning, working on long-term projects, and relationship building. So the best way to handle these quadrant 2 tasks is to schedule them regularly. Now, quadrant 3 is about tasks that are urgent but not important. These tasks usually are distractions or busy work. They're often based on expectations that others have for you and don't move you closer to your long-term goals. So examples of this are unnecessary interruptions from coworkers, reports you really shouldn't be focusing on, or checking your phone or email whenever you get a ding. It's best to delegate these tasks or avoid getting trapped by them altogether. Quadrant 4 is for tasks that are not urgent and also not important. They're basically a waste of time and items you should just delete and get removed from your life altogether. So this is like binge watching TV shows or gaming for hours on end, scrolling endlessly on your phone, or other kinds of avoidance behavior. They're essentially unfulfilling activities you can just cut out entirely. So now that you have an overview of these 4 quadrants, take a few minutes and sort out recurring tasks into these buckets. What do you find? Do you notice you spend a lot of time in one of these quadrants and not others? I'd like to hear what's worked for you. So please share your comments below and let me know. What I see most commonly is that most of us don't spend enough time in quadrant 2, which is a huge missed opportunity because that's where most of our effectiveness lives, in planning and thinking high level and being proactive to drive activities and projects forward. So by reviewing our long-term goals and then chunking them down into smaller tasks and then putting them on our calendar so we schedule them, we can take this big, important task and chunk it down into smaller, manageable bits. So that's all for today. Please make sure to click the subscribe button below and the little bell icon so you'll be notified of future videos. Until next time, stay curious.